Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I want to thank one of our viewers here, Darren. Darren has been very insistent that I watch the BIS, the Bureau of International Settlements, video on Soul of Money when talking about the central bank digital currency. I'm going to leave a link down in the description for you guys. It's about a half an hour long video. It's a little difficult to understand. The guy's accent is kind of heavy, but it's not so bad that you can't get it. Having subtitles on can certainly help with it, but ultimately, the central bank digital currency is on its way. And it's no doubt in my mind that the idea of a central bank digital currency is more about applying negative interest rates to our savings accounts, to the whole economy in general. The central bank digital currency is about getting cash out of the system, and it's more about tracking and tracing and taxing than anything else. Now, when it's introduced to the people, it's going to be introduced as a benefit, as a way of like distributing stimulus checks, or say helping out during a natural disaster. These are the ways that the powers that be are going to get the people to be really accepting of it, to just say, hey, we really want this central bank digital currency. But ultimately, it is going to be about like tracking and tracing you, being able to determine what it is that you are doing, who you are, how you spend your money. All that stuff is going to be applied to the central bank digital currency. There's very little doubt in my mind about that. Now, ultimately, it's going to have to get cash out of the system, because cash is going to be very burdensome when it comes to the central bank digital currency, because people would just rather hold cash than to take a negative interest rate on their savings account. So once the central bank digital currency comes into play, cash is going to become very burdensome. They are going to start charging a fee to, say, deposit or withdraw cash out of the bank. And so this is going to get you to leave your money inside of the system, inside of that central bank digital currency. And now I know a lot of people are going to be a little confused about the central bank digital currency when it first comes out, because they are going to see it as no different than just having a bank account and using a debit card or credit card. People are going to say, like, we already use a digital currency. The dollar is a digital currency. Yes, that is true in the sense that you use computers in order to transfer funds from one account to another. But ultimately, when you do like a debit card transaction or a credit card transaction, or even an online purchase through PayPal or something like that, what you are doing is you are telling a bank to take from your account to another account to another account until it finally gets back to the person that you were originally trying to send that money to. So it goes through all these different intermediaries. A central bank digital currency will be a peer-to-peer transaction. It will go from one wallet directly to another wallet. Now, the idea that the central banks will have control and visual over that, saying like we can determine whether or not we allow this transaction to happen, or if we just simply just know what's happening there with that transaction, that's going to be like the big question that is out there. Like, how intrusive is this really going to be? I personally believe that when they introduce this central bank digital currency, that it will behave just like cash. Like, they will not go after anybody as far as the nefarious deals that they do with it. They won't limit anybody as far as, what they could spend it on. They won't track anybody as far as like the people noticing that they're being tracked. Like, there will be no like repercussions from it at all. And this will probably go on for a very long time as people begin to get used to it, and then pretty soon get to the point where they trust it. That's when the like real pressure will begin. And how long that takes is anybody's guess. I would imagine that it's probably going to take the majority of a generation of use to really get the people to like put all their faith behind it. Once they have their faith behind this, they're locked. They're locked in for life. There is no backing out at that point. A lot of people will say, like, how do you protect yourself from a central bank digital currency? There really is no way to protect yourself. There's like, you can buy gold and silver and you can get into those things, The only problem is that if there ever comes a time when you want to cash out of that stuff, like you want to eat or something, you need to go to the store and buy something, you go to sell that silver or that gold, you have to sell it into a central bank digital currency, and it may be that they charge you a lot of tax or fee, or just make it very cumbersome or costly to have stored your wealth in silver and gold and then try to transfer it into the central bank digital currency. So can you protect yourself with it? Well, you can, in the sense that silver and gold has been money for 5,000 years, regardless of the system that's out there. But when it comes to actual use in a day-to-day and trying to figure out how it is that you're going to pay your bills or eat while using this silver and gold in a central bank digital currency world, that's going to be very difficult to deal with. So can you protect some of your wealth with silver and gold? I certainly would. I mean, I do. Is it going to be the way to protect you from a central bank digital currency? Not if the system holds together. You will be forced into dealing with this central bank digital currency and having to deal with a negative interest rate that's applied to it. So ultimately what I see happening from this is that it's going to cause people to want to spend their money. I mean, why would you leave it in the bank trying to save it when you have a negative rate to it? So most likely you're either going to spend it on things that you want, or you're going to try and invest it. But savings is going to be very low. That is going to keep the money velocity moving, keeping people spending money, especially if you start applying that negative rate to it. Because then as soon as you get your money, you're going to want to get it out as soon as you possibly can. So a negative rate could actually push people into spending money. But honestly, looking at a negative rate, when you think about it, is actually a deflationary concept. Because when you get charged to put your money in there, that is money getting taken out of the system. It's money being taken away from you that you can no longer spend into the economy. So the idea of having a negative interest rate is actually deflationary, in the idea that it would destroy currency, it would destroy credit, it would destroy the ability to save and grow as an economy. I mean, you think about it, like a good, strong economy is built off of savings and production. And if savings is simply just not even a concept, like you cannot save your money for anything, then it's going to make it very difficult to have a strong economy. You're going to have a constant stimulus, a constant injection, a constant getting people to spend money in directions that they typically would rather save. And that is where people are really not going to understand or recognize what has taken place once those central bank digital currencies get pushed into play and run full steam, is that the idea of savings and production is not even going to be the same of what we just experienced. Okay, Uneducated Economist. I'll leave a bunch of links down in the description for you guys. You let me know.